Oh boy, I can't wait to build Cartmaze V3. Well, it has everything. It has hybrid loaders, it has MIS, it even has unstackable sorting, which I don't need that much. I just hope like building it isn't too difficult. Like I'd hate to like stop and have to rename items for 3 hours. Oh, that's gonna take a while, isn't it? Well, I better get to it. So, getting these items, let's rename them. Oh, dang, I'm not that good at this. Oh, oh, it broke. Dang, there has to be a better way of doing this. Huh. Huh. Hello, everyone. The name's Mooney, and today I'm back to you in another video to talk about something that I made. As you saw, I am really bothered and I am not very good at renaming items, especially in bulk. And if you've done any sort of storage stacking in your survival world, and especially if you're a vanilla player, you know how bothersome that can be. Renaming items takes anvils and takes experience, and especially it takes a lot of time and mouse clicks. It, well, that's if you don't have to actually learn how to use bots. But I have found a solution, and I believe it to be quite ingenious, and I believe it to be quite nice. So I want to show you today how you can make automatic blockers using maps and banners. Now, you might be quite confused about this. What's there about maps and banners that can be used, like that can be useful? Well, these items share a property that not many other items share. These items are dupable via crafting table. The only two other items that share this behavior are armor trims and oh god, Mooney forgot the other books. It's books. Well, from those, the better two of them to craft are actually maps and banners. But why would you like to copy them? Why would you like to dupe those items? Well, if you see here, I have a stack of empty maps and I also have a map that I've used. When I take a look at this map, I see that it just shows the world, but these empty maps are of course empty. However, in a crafting table, whoops, in a crafting table, if I input the map and an empty map, it will give me a copy of the map. That also happens if your map is named. So here, if I have a map blocker, I can input an empty map and it will give me back two map blockers. And this named item will, of course, not stack with any differently named items, even though they have the same data in them. They are a map of the same region. So here we have a crafter that's powered by an 8 tick clock and a hopper that points directly back at the crafter. What happens is when the crafter crafts, it will shoot two identical items into here, and one of them will be put back in so that the crafting happens again. So let me show you using the map blocker example. Let me use 16. So all you need to use this machine is one of the named item that you want to copy and um, the other item that can be duped to it. So in this case, in the case of maps, it's empty maps. The maps will flow in, be crafted in, and then you will end up with one map here and 16 new map blocker here. and they are completely named. They will not stack with any other items other than map blockers. So this is how you do it with map blockers. And as you can see, I have here another differently named map that I will show later where they are. So we can also do that, the same mechanic with banners. And banners are especially interesting. This also happens with with maps, but I want to talk specifically about banners because banners are 16 stackables, but they also have um, the same behavior when you are copying a banner with a pattern. So here, if I just put two white banners, they will not output me two white banners. But if I input this white banner blocker, which has a black roundel pattern, it will copy the entire pattern and the name, which means that if I leave this white banner here and I input these 16 banners, they will be crafted down into new white banner blockers. And that allows for a lot of nice things. The only caveat of banners is that the uh, banner needs to have the same base color as the banner that you're copying. So here I have these Booney inspired banners, which I will not be able to copy by inputting white banners, as you see, but I will be able to copy if I input blue banners. And it also copies the entire banner. So I only have to make them one time. And that's really interesting because if you can have infinite amounts of renamed blockers that you don't have to name yourself or use a bot to rename, then you actually can customize your filters to the region that you're doing. So here I have a hopper pattern to symbolize a filter blocker. So I can input this filter blocker here and 16 white banners, and I will be able to see them become filter blockers. And that's really helpful. Why, you might ask? Well, it's helpful because now when I see, if something breaks, when I see these specific filter blockers in somewhere, I will instantly know that they came from a filter, not from my hybrid loaders, not from anywhere in a card sorter, not from my unstackable sorter. They came from my filters, and that's really awesome. That's something you would not bother doing if you had to manually script a bot to do your filter items. That's also applicable to maps, but in an even nicer way, an even prettier way, I would say. That's because you have maps, you actually can use map art. And you can just copy that map art and use it as blockers. So if you see a map, you can know exactly where things are broken just because you have the filters, and that's super super helpful when something breaks. Let me just put these back in, and as you know, these things are actually quite easy to get. Maps can be crafted by using paper and compasses, which is kind of an expensive recipe, but you can also, I think you can turn paper into empty maps in the cartography table. I'm not sure if that's true, but the cartographer village or villager actually can give you empty papers. It's the first trade that they do. It's empty papers. And the other ones, the banners, are actually even easier because you can use white banners as the base recipe, and you can just like take wool out of a sheep and craft them with sticks. It's so awesome. So in this way, you can actually have an array of these. You can stack them up and make filters in parallel so you don't have to wait. And now you might ask, what do I do if I have too much filters? Well, you can just burn them. You don't need to store your filters. But first of all, you don't need to have too much of them. This is not a farm. This is a precise machine. You can look at your schematics of big storages and actually load their material lists and know what are in each of these containers. So you actually can know how many filters you need for every region of your machine. You can just take the exact number and input it, and it does the thing for you. Um, you actually only have to name the first one of each of these. And that's what allows it to be so customizable, because now you only have to rename or to make a banner pattern or to make a map art one time, and you will be able to have this customization feature. So I have some examples here. First, I have hybrid Saline V3. It's my contraption, but the special parts that it uses signal strength isolated filters. These don't care if you're using 64 stackables or 16 stackables as the item in them. So here I'm using the banners because that allows me to only use 5 items in each one of these. And as you can see, the filters will completely work. If here I have a filter for redstone, and if I like chuck one redstone in, it just works. It works as the filter that it's supposed to be. And in here, I have an SS3 filter, which is the standard impulse filter. It's just wired differently. And you can have them with 4 hybrid blockers, or like 4 maps, because they are 64 stackables. Using banners here wouldn't be like good. That you'd actually run into issues using banners in this type of system. But having the maps here is super easy. It's just 4 maps and they're renamed. The same thing can be done in cart mazes like cart maze v3 or in these 2 italable whitelisters that I made. As you can see, I have 54 map blockers and 3 unstackables. And this rail here characterizes when the slice is opened or closed. And if I take this here, we will be able to see the rail change state. So yeah, uh, this is what I wanted to show you today. This was originally going to be a quick and quirky, but right now I think this contraption deserves a lot more time and a lot more interest because it can be a whole contraption. You could just input paper and redstone and iron and have like named blockers. And the best thing is that even if you have an array of these, like of these clock-based ones, you could just come here and manually swap the type of filter that you want to make. And it's just that easy. And oh yeah, one more thing is that you actually need to use anvils to rename your items, and anvils can break. You do not want that. That's such a hassle. So using this won't break on you. How does this break? If this breaks, everything that can happen is that the filter can end up here, and that's that. You just replace it. Well, okay, now that's it. I want to thank you so much for watching, and I hope this contraption helps you and your friends and everyone in your server to actually, oh, holy voice crack, to actually have a better time while building your storage system. I hope you liked the video. Please like and subscribe. And I'm sorry if this video gets too long. This is not the quick and quirky that I wanted to do, but it is such an interesting concept. I cannot not talk about it. Well, bye bye.